He didn't look like someone who belonged there. Old sneakers, faded hoodie, hands tucked into his pockets like he had nothing to prove and no one to impress. When Jordan Miles walked into Crown Auto House, no one looked twice, and the ones who didn't bother hiding their skepticism. Rebecca, the showroom manager, glanced up from behind the polished front desk. Her eyes narrowed, just slightly. She smiled, but it was the kind of smile you give someone right before you tell them they're in the wrong place. "Can I help you?" she asked, tone polite, words sharp. "I'm just looking around," he said. She didn't laugh, but her eyes did. That was her first mistake, because what no one in that showroom knew, what they couldn't know, was that the man they just brushed off, judged by his hoodie and quiet demeanor, had signed the papers to buy the entire dealership just 4 days ago. And now he was here to see how they really treat people when they think no one important is watching. Jordan pulled into the parking lot of Crown Auto House just before noon. The sun was high, baking the asphalt until it shimmered like glass. A fleet of gleaming European cars sat lined up like trophies, their flawless exteriors reflecting the cloudless sky. He parked his old SUV, quiet, unassuming, in the back corner. No valet, no attention, just how he liked it. Stepping out, he took in the building. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble accents, chrome everything. It looked expensive even from the sidewalk, but he didn't flinch. He had paid for it after all. Inside, the air conditioning hit him first, sharp and artificial. Then came the scent, leather, wax, and faint cologne. The kind of place where people speak in hushed tones and credit scores walk before you do. There were a few employees near the espresso bar, chatting casually. They didn't stop when he walked in, but their glances were quick, silent, sizing him up from head to toe. Jordan noticed it all. The micro-reactions, the subtle shift in posture. He wasn't angry, not yet. This was exactly what he'd come for. He wanted to see it raw, real. How they treated someone who looked like just another guy off the street. He moved slowly, hands in his pockets, eyes scanning the showroom, not the cars, but the people. Because today, he wasn't here to test drive a vehicle. He was here to test their character. From the far end of the showroom, she spotted him. Tall, wiry frame, hoodie, worn jeans. Rebecca adjusted her blazer before walking over, her heels ticking confidently across the polished floor. Her posture was perfect, shoulders back, clipboard tight to her chest, smile loaded with just enough sugar to cover the steel underneath. "Good afternoon," she said. "Can I help you with something?" Jordan looked up, calm. "Just browsing." Her eyes did a full scan. Hoodie, no watch, cheap sneakers, no visible luxury brand. In her mind, the file was already closed. "Well," she said, voice clipped, "we do specialize in high-end models. Most of our vehicles require pre-qualification." He raised an eyebrow. "Good to know." She hesitated. That wasn't the reaction she expected. Most people got nervous, defensive. He didn't blink. Rebecca tried again. "If you're just looking, that's fine. I just ask that you don't touch the cars unless accompanied by a consultant." Jordan nodded. "Sure." His tone was polite, but there was something about the way he said it, like he was clocking every word she chose, filing it away. A pause settled between them. Rebecca broke it. "If you're interested in something more budget-conscious, I can recommend a few pre-owned options." Jordan gave a slow smile. Not wide, just knowing. "What makes you think I'm not here for one of these?" She blinked. "I've been doing this a long time," she said coolly. "You learn to tell who's a serious buyer." Jordan's hands were still in his pockets, but in his head, the tally had begun. Strike one. Jordan took a step toward a sleek black coupe, its grille sharp like a predator mid-prowl. His fingers brushed the side mirror. "Sir?" Rebecca's voice cut through the air like a slap. "I just said, please don't touch the vehicles." Jordan turned slowly. "Right. Forgot I wasn't supposed to enjoy the view." Rebecca folded her arms, clipboard pressed tighter. "Look, I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't want you wasting your time." He tilted his head. "Wasting my time or yours?" She hesitated, then gave a tight smile. "This isn't your average lot, sir. Our inventory starts at 6 figures. We deal with clients who know what they're looking for." "And you've decided I don't?" Her silence answered for her. Jordan nodded slowly, like he'd just confirmed a suspicion. "Tell me something," he said, stepping closer, his tone still calm. "What kind of car do you think someone like me should drive?" Rebecca's expression shifted, uncertain, then guarded. "There's a great pre-owned dealership on Brookline Avenue. Honest people, solid cars." "That's generous of you." She took a step back, clearly flustered now. "Sir, I have other customers to attend to." If you're serious about buying, we can set up a consultation. Otherwise, he raised an eyebrow. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The words echoed, too loud, too final. A few employees nearby stopped pretending not to listen. Jordan didn't flinch. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. "What are you doing?" Rebecca asked. "Calling the owner," he said simply. "Think they'll want to hear about our little chat." She scoffed. "The owner doesn't just take calls from walk-ins." Jordan smirked. "You're right, he usually doesn't, but today he might make an exception." He pressed a name on the screen. The phone rang once, twice. Then Jordan said into the receiver, "Hey, yeah, it's me, at Crown Auto House. Mind dropping by for a minute?" He hung up, pocketed the phone, and looked her in the eyes. "They'll be here soon." Rebecca stared, confused. "Wait, who did you just call?" Jordan smiled. "Let's just say someone who signs your paycheck. Strike two." 10 minutes passed. Rebecca paced near the reception desk, stealing glances at Jordan, who stood calmly by the coupe, hands still in his pockets like nothing had happened. The air in the showroom had changed, quiet, stiff. Everyone felt it, but no one knew what exactly they were waiting for. Then, click. The front doors opened, and a man in a tailored navy suit walked in, his stride confident, expression tight. He carried himself like someone who knew this place inside and out. "Mr. Miles," he called out, voice loud enough to silence the room. Jordan turned with a smile. "Vincent, thanks for coming." Vincent crossed the floor, ignoring the now staring staff. He extended a hand, firm and warm. "Wouldn't miss it. How are you settling into your new place?" Rebecca's face paled. "New place?" Jordan shook Vincent's hand, then casually looked over at her. "Just getting the lay of the land." Vincent finally noticed Rebecca frozen beside the front desk. "Ah, you must be Rebecca. Regional said you were sharp." She blinked. I am. I try to be. I didn't realize." Vincent's tone shifted, subtle but sharp. "Didn't realize Mr. Miles was your new owner?" Someone in the back gasped. A coffee cup rattled on the counter. Rebecca opened her mouth. No words came. Jordan stepped forward, his voice soft but undeniable. "Let me ask you something, Rebecca. If I hadn't made that call, if no one had walked through those doors to say otherwise, how far would you have gone to push me out?" She looked down. Her hands trembled slightly around her clipboard. He continued, not unkind, but unwavering. "You didn't see me. You saw what you expected to see, and you treated me accordingly." Silence. Heavy. Thick. Vincent cleared his throat. "Mr. Miles, would you like to address the team?" Jordan nodded. "Yeah, I think it's time we had a little talk." He turned to the staff, his voice rising just enough to carry across the floor. "Let's head to the conference room. I want everyone in there." The spell broke. People moved, quiet, sheepish, unsure. Rebecca followed last, her face no longer composed, just human now, humbled. And Jordan? He wasn't here for revenge. He was here to reset the culture. Strike three. Game on. The conference room was all glass and gloss, minimalist, modern, designed to impress. But right now, no one was impressed. They were nervous. Employees sat in stiff rows around the long table. The usual small talk was gone. Even the AC felt louder than it should. Jordan stood at the head, not behind the chair like a CEO giving a PowerPoint, but in front of it, grounded, present. Vincent remained near the door, arms crossed, watching. "Thanks for coming in on short notice," Jordan began, voice steady. "I know this is unusual, so let me start with the obvious." He paused, looked each of them in the eyes. "My name's Jordan Miles. 4 days ago, I bought Crown Auto House." There were a few quiet gasps, some awkward shuffles. Rebecca didn't move. Her eyes were locked on the table. "I came in today dressed like I did, hoodie, jeans, no announcement, for one reason. I wanted to see this place with no filters. See how we treat people who don't look like our ideal customer." He let that sit. "What I saw wasn't terrible, but it wasn't excellent either. And if we're going to represent luxury, excellence has to start with how we treat people. Every person." A young sales rep near the back raised his hand tentatively. "Sir, Jordan, can I ask something?" Jordan nodded. "What if we don't mean to judge? Sometimes you just assume, without realizing it." Jordan smiled. Not sarcastic, honest. "That's fair. We all do it. But that doesn't mean we let it slide. Bias isn't just about hate. It's about habit. It's about patterns we never challenge because they've always been there." He looked toward Rebecca. "And challenging them is how we grow." All eyes turned to her. She swallowed hard, then stood. "I made a mistake," she said quietly. "I misjudged you. And I didn't just fail you, I failed our standard." Jordan nodded. "Thank you for saying that." He stepped closer, not aggressive, but real. This isn't about embarrassing anyone. It's about culture. And culture isn't posters on the wall. It's how we act when we think no one's watching. Silence again. But now it felt different, reflective. Starting next week, we're rolling out new training on customer experience. Real, human-centered experience. I'll personally sit in on some of them, because this isn't a top-down thing. It's all of us. He took a breath. Let it hang. If you're here just to sell expensive cars, you're in the wrong place. But if you're here to build trust, make people feel seen, and grow a legacy, we'll build that together. Vincent uncrossed his arms, nodding in quiet agreement. Jordan gave a small smile. And for the record, I still love hoodies, so get used to it. Laughter broke the tension, just enough to remind them this wasn't a takedown. It was a turning point. 1 week later, Jordan returned, this time through the front door. He didn't call ahead, no grand entrance, just slipped in quietly, wearing a plain black hoodie, a ball cap, and the same calm he always carried. The showroom was different. Not in design, it still gleamed with glass and chrome, but in atmosphere. Warmer, more awake. He walked past the espresso bar where a few staff members nodded at him. No stiffness, no overcompensation, just respect. Then he saw her, Rebecca, standing beside a young woman in paint-splattered jeans and a fraying denim jacket. The customer was gesturing excitedly toward a cherry-red sports coupe, eyes wide like a kid in a candy store. Rebecca listened, not with the polite nods of someone waiting to correct, but with real curiosity, real presence. Take your time, she was saying. It's not about what people expect you to drive. It's about what makes you feel powerful behind the wheel. The woman smiled. Rebecca smiled back, genuine, soft, no clipboard in sight. Jordan didn't interrupt. He simply watched from across the room, unseen, but not unnoticed. As the customer walked toward the car, Rebecca turned, just briefly, and saw him. Their eyes met. She didn't panic, she didn't look away. Instead, she gave a quiet nod, not for approval, but acknowledgement. Jordan returned it with the faintest smile. Then he turned and walked back out into the sunlight. He didn't need to stay. Change had already begun. Respect doesn't start with policies. It starts with presence. And sometimes, it wears a hoodie.